Hey, and welcome to your little tutorial on Kapala Bhati breathing. So this is part of pranayama, so our breath work. Kapala means head. Well, it actually means head in Indonesian and Malay, but it means skull in Sanskrit. And then Bhati means shining. So this is skull shining breath. And it actually, if you go through the practice, it's like a bright and shining lightning of the head. So to come into our Kapala Bhati breath, there's a couple of things that we're going to do. I like to use Ati Mudra, and so that's closing the thumb within the hands and then wrapping the fingers around. So this mudra actually creates a lock that helps manage the breath in and out. And so we're going to, it's a forceful inhale and a forceful exhale. And the exhale, as you inhale the breath in the first instance, it won't feel very forceful. But as you exhale the breath and use the diaphragm and the abdominals to press the breath out, what happens is the forceful inhalation comes because you've expelled all of that air and you're going to suck that air in quite rapaciously. So Kapala Bhati breath. So we start, I'm sitting actually in hero's pose. You can actually sit in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. I just like to have the hips elevated above the knees because that sitting into the back here allows me to draw into the spine, sit up nice and tall and create some space in and around the midline, the midsection here. So we're going to take an inhale. And you can feel the belly extend here as you take that inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to push the belly or draw the belly back towards the spine. You could hear my breath exhale then. So if we try that again, it sounds like an inhale. Now I'll close my eyes. Belly extends. And then as I exhale, that forceful exhale, then as I've expelled all that air out, it actually draws the air back into the body. So you have this action of the belly pushing in and out. So as you exhale, the belly draws back into the spine, the air is expelled from the body, and you inhale and the belly comes back out. So eventually you get this feeling of the body or the belly going in and out with that inhale and exhale. So until you get used to that, like the use of the abdominal region there in this forceful exhalation, go slowly. So there's nothing to say that you have to do this at 100 miles an hour, although sometimes in some practices you will see that. And sometimes those people, they've been practicing it for a little while. So you want to, just honor your practice and feel where you're at and get used to this, because for a lot of people that it is something that's really new. So the benefits of our Kapala Bhati breath or breathing, apart from shining our skull and creating our little halo over here, is it actually a really warming breath. So if you're looking for a way before you go into practice, if you're in somewhere that's a little bit cold, or you're not feeling, you're not in the mood, or you're just not feeling the love, this can be a really good way to draw you into the practice. So if you start with this Kapala Bhati breath work, then getting you into the practice and getting you warmed up, and all of a sudden you've built that connection to the mat and you're ready to go. So it's never going to replace a sun salutation, but it certainly will develop heat or tapas within the body. So again, Ati Mudra, thumb inside, hands down to the knees. I do like to close my eyes for my Kapala Bhati breath. So taking a deep inhale. So my first inhale is through the nose, and then my inhale exhale is actually through the mouth. There are other ways of doing this. As you develop the technique, you can do it all through the nose. You can also do alternate nostril Kapala Bhati. So there's just some complexities that come around that. But you first and foremost, we're going to start with an inhale through the nose, and then the forceful exhale through the mouth, and then the continuation of the inhale and exhale through the mouth. So start with 10. if you start to get dizzy, cease the practice. Bring the hands down to the earth and just tuck the chin towards the chest and just take a time out. So just taking this little break here might feel good. You might also like to come down to child's pose, and don't come all the way to the floor, just resting here, and just bring the hands to the forehead and rest here. So you still have that hand, that connection to the hands, so here, and the elbows resting on the floor. And then when you're ready, you can come back into the practice. So again, creating Adi Mudra, hands to the thighs, taking a deep inhale through the nose. Keeping the eyes closed, taking a few deep rounds of breath and just being with the sensation. Maybe you feel warmth. Maybe you feel a little lightheaded. Maybe you feel grounded and connected. Whatever that is for you, just allow yourself to be in the moment. And when you feel that grounded reconnection come back, you can open the eyes and you can take that practice again. So I like to start with 10, see how I'm feeling, and then move to say 12 or 20, and you can continue to increase the number of breaths that you take in each set or in each repetition. You can also increase the speed at which you are forcefully exhaling and inhaling. So it doesn't always need to stay at that speed, and you can explore different things here. So an example of that would be and so that's a slightly faster variation of that Kapala Bhati breath. And if you've done a Bikram's class, they quite often use that at the end of class. And that forceful exhale, the chatter that they use whilst, or the notes that they give you when they're doing that, is that it actually expels the excess air or CO2 from the body that's no longer serving you. And I agree. Like that expelling, it's getting rid of what you don't want to make room for what you do. So that forceful exhale is actually sending out into the universe that excess breath that you no longer require, making room for fresh breath to come in and reoxygenate the body. So a really interesting pranayama, and very, very helpful. So again, using that as part of your warm-up series, and to get you engaged and get you back on the mat here, or just if you wanted to take a little bit of a time out and work with some pranayama and feel the warmth, or even if you want to feel a little bit of abdominal work going on there. That I always like to engage this at the beginning of practice. You will notice that in a Bikram's practice it is at the end, and you're more than welcome to put that in at any point. And if you'd like to know any more about this, just shoot me a message and I'll be able to give you some additional tips on this pranayama, Kapala Bhati breath.